Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerds Fun 5 started playing paintball in 2016. He went pro in 2021 with AC Dallas. He currently plays with Paintball Fit, and they just won the NXL Sunshine State Major in the semi-pro division. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Colt Luckau.
It's great to be here.
Yes, sir. It's good to have you. Man, I remember the first time I saw you. First time I saw Colt Luckau was World Cup 2021. I was commentating on the NXL Pro Field, and I don't remember who you guys were playing, but I just saw you constantly moving up the field. And I was telling Maddie, I'm like, dude, this guy Colt has wheels. He's like the most mobile guy on the team. He's everywhere. And I've known your dad for years, like years. I was a sales rep at Dye, but I didn't put the last name together. Like I didn't figure it out. I just figured out recently that you're JD's kid, but man,
gotcha.
Like just watching you is like, I was a fan instantly, man. You tear it up out there.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot, man. It's definitely different being this size and playing. It's definitely a different type of struggle people don't actually get, but I appreciate that.
Well, it's certainly inspiring, because it goes to show you that like paintball's for everyone. You don't have to be like, Ryan Greenspan, surfer body to tear it up out there. Like,
yeah,
it's all shapes and sizes can do it, man. And, like I remember back in the day, like Frank the Tank was one of those guys. Todd Adamson was a big one who could get down,
Hell yeah.
So it's important to have that. But Colt, man, congratulations on the Sunshine State Major. I was in the pits when you guys won, and your mom was hugging you, and you're like, ah! And I could just tell, like, you had a lot of emotion there. What did that win mean for you and the team?
Man, it meant a lot, right? So this time last year, it was a different feeling when we won. When we won last year, it was, hey, these guys just got relegated.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people thought we were good because we got relegated. So it was a lot of proving literally everyone wrong. They're like, hey, like we are good. Like that's not an easy division. Go out there and win. This year, we fell extremely short of winning the pro spot. Getting that second place in finals on the exact same field that we just won on. Walking on there, you have a lot of nerves, right? You come out there and you're like, man, last time I was out here, like I choked, right? Because it is what it is. Like we choked, right? We had the finals and all we had to do was win and we choked. We weren't prepared. So going out there, it was a lot of nerves. But then you get that first point out and you're like, hey, it's just another paintball match. Like you don't even, you kind of forget that you're even playing finals and you're just like, now I'm just playing a game, right? I'm back to doing what I'm used to doing. Let's play, right? And then we go down 1-2 because Blast Camp's good. Like people people say there's a rivalry, right? There's, it's a rivalry because we play each other all the time and, things get heated because they beat us a lot. We beat them a lot, but they're good, man. So when you win the first point and they win 2 back-to-back, that's why I was like, okay, if I was feeling nerves in the beginning of the match, my teammates are definitely feeling nerves right now. So then we took a timeout. We talked about some things. Kind of everyone's just like, hey man, like we all are fucking up. We're giving these games away. Like this is our layout. We're playing phenomenal. You can't give little mistakes like that to a great team, right? Because they could easily play pro. Like that is a pro in my eyes. Like I'm playing a pro team when I play them. So I go out there and we talk about it. And it's one of those things that it's like, if we want to not only win the pro spot this year, but dominate when we go pro, it's win right now. Like we have to win this event. So like, I wouldn't even say that event was like a prove everyone wrong event. It was just like prove ourselves right. That like we are good. Like we deserve to win this tournament. And I feel like we went out and did that. And, there was some animosity, right? Because like I still am irritated from some things about last year that Jackson from Blast Camp was saying to us on the field. So, when they went out and legitimately picked up pros like Rob Velez, which amazing player. I'm gonna talk shit to him about pro assistants because it's kind of dumb to complain about pro assistants, in my opinion, when we're all trying to go pro. But it's
Yeah.
funny that we went and picked up some divisional kids from our field that were playing D3 last year. They went and picked up pros, and we were able to still beat them. So for me personally, it was a big fuck you.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for Dallas. I'm excited for the next event.
Dude, I think that the rivalry between Paintball Fit and Blast Camp is super healthy for paintball. You guys are paintball royalty. You know, they're both family-run fields and organizations. And you and Jackson are both sons of the owners. So it's like you're the princes of these camps, right? The princes of these organizations. And for you guys to have that headbutting is like, dude, it makes for perfect television. It's beautiful. Like, people don't understand that you guys probably respect and admire each other more than you let on
Absolutely.
to believe at the field, you know?
Well, absolutely,
So
right? Like Jackson's a phenomenal player, but like when it comes to playing each other, like I'm gonna play you like I hate you because that's
yeah,
how I can tap into that next level of play for myself.
yeah,
I don't mean to be an asshole to people. I feel like it's just passion. Like a lot of people think I'm an
it
asshole,
is.
but like I'm just passionate. Like I want to win, and I kind of figure out ways to anger myself into winning, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's 100%. Dude, Jordan did the same thing. You know, if you
It's,
watch what's that documentary, The Last Dance, right?
yeah,
Like he'd take something out of context that a player did just so he could put a little chip on his shoulder, like, oh, that guy said this. Okay, I'm gonna give it to him. You know?
yeah, 100%.
So
And I
you got to
think
find
it's
motivation.
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, all the best do it, man. So it's not a negative thing. And I thought it was great. What you know, you were just living in the moment, and you're like, always hungry. Like, we're eating over here. Like, pro assistant Jackson. What? You know, he may not have liked it, but I think, you know, again, I think that organization, the Blast Camp organization, definitely has respect for Fit and you. And at the end of the day, it's all good. That's at least what I
And
personally think.
it's likewise for us. We all like a lot of our guys, including myself, we give a lot of them props. Like we see each other throughout the event. Everyone's high fiving each other, like, "Hey, good luck today." Like we all know that we're going to see each other at the finals, right? And we know that it's
Exactly.
not going to be a dominant win one way or the other. Like it's going to be decided by 1 or 2 points. Pretty much every time we've played, it's been decided between 1 or 2 points. Like
Yeah.
so, knowing that we're the two powerhouse teams, it's you have to have a mutual respect. If you don't respect them, that's how you get shit on in lack of
Exactly.
sense of the word, right? Like
Yeah.
that's how you fall asleep on a team. So yeah, of course, there's a lot of mutual respect between the two teams.
Yeah. And more on that, you know, when you have that mutual respect, that's when you have to develop something. Like, you have to create some sort of hate somewhere to be able to
Yeah,
compete against them. Like, and drop that for a moment, right? In the heat of competition, you do have to drop that respect a little bit and find a way to say, like, I'm going to give it to you, right?
100%.
So, you know, that's
Yeah,
all that's what people see. And I think, you know, the you know, people saying that it's negative is just coming from a lack of understanding, you know.
I appreciate
So,
that.
yeah. So, Colt, man, what's it like to come from a paintball family? Like, your mom is in it in the pits with you, your dad's in it, your brothers are in it. Like, what's that like?
It's honestly as like cheesy as it sounds, it's so indescribable. Like
Yeah.
to this day, I still like find myself being like, man, I am so lucky that like
So lucky.
these are my parents. Like there was a picture I actually saw today, and and I know the point because I remember this point very vividly, and it was the overtime point where Trenton was in a one-on-one, and the two people that are on the net looking as if they're like either going to cry or be super excited because they don't know what they're going to be in a second
Yeah.
is my
Yeah.
parents. And
Yeah.
to see that picture of my mom like on my dad's shoulders, like holding him, and he's staring intently, and it's just like, man, I don't know a lot of other people's parents that are that into it with them, right? Like,
Yeah.
of course, everyone's parents want them to succeed, but like sometimes I think they want it more than I do.
Yeah.
Like it's a good support system, and I couldn't ask for a better one, man. And it's also weird because like I used to hate paintball.
Really?
Yeah, so growing up, and like it was like 2012 to 2014. My brothers played and my dad played. I say hate. I liked being there. I did not want to play because
Hmm.
paintballs hurt, right? It is what
Yeah.
it is. So like I
Yeah.
didn't want to get shot. And then it was 2016. that my dad was kind of like getting towards the end of playing, it felt like. My oldest brother was starting to play D2 with Brody, and I was just like, man, if I don't play at least one tournament with my dad, I'll be the only kid who never got to share that experience with him.
Yeah.
So I kind of was just like, all right, man, just go play, right? Just 1 point in a tournament. So I was an alternate. And then there was 1 point where I like ran out to the snake corner and we're getting like ruined. Like I did not win the point by any means, but there was a guy in RS1 and RS2 and I just ran them down. I ran both of them down and then like traded with a center guy. And that feeling of like coming off the pit and like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, like I just shot 3 dudes up close. And then like having my dad come up and just like be like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And like give me a big hug was like, that is the best feeling I've ever had. So now I've just been chasing that essentially.
Chasing the high.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But you've surpassed it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With the things that you've accomplished. Dude, that's amazing. I think that's living the dream, like having your parents at the field and being so supportive as they are. And not just, I think saying that Sarah and JD Luckau are supportive is an extreme understatement. Like, yeah, I see your dad carrying around the cart, like helping out, like in the pits. Like it's so much above and beyond supportive. They're active members of the team. Like they're contributing in a big way. And I mean, it sounds like you don't know any different. Like this is the environment you were raised in, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's crazy is like even before the AC Dallas year, they almost weren't ever really in the pits. And the only reason why is because my dad's a very opinionated person. So when it would come to game plans and like say a match wasn't working out that great, me, Johnny, him, and Brody would like get in, and Trenton would get in arguments mid-match, and it wasn't really productive at the time. So like now it's kind of evolved into like we understand each other and it's a lot better in the pits. But like there was a point for like 2 years where he was just like, look, I'm just gonna watch and cheer because we keep getting in arguments mid-match. It's not helping you. It's not helping anything. Yeah. But then I don't remember what day it was, but we all had like a sit-down conversation. We're like, no, we want you in the pits again. Like that would be amazing. He wants to be back in it. And then we kind of figured it out. But now it's amazing. You come into the pit and you got your parents helping you get loaded up and cheering you on 5 feet from you. It's great.
Yeah. And it's not just at events. I mean, you guys live this. I mean, you have Paintball Fit. It's been referred to as the field of dreams. And I'm starting to certainly agree with that just based on everything that I see there. So how did that come about?
So again, 2016, just started playing and we were playing at Cousins at the time. And then what ended up happening is they only had like one turf field and like a grass field. And then pretty much they got over, I can't even remember the word, but they got like really busy with AC Dallas. So like AC Dallas at the time was practicing there all the time. So like we couldn't play every weekend. Right. So then we had a local guy here, Waxahachie, which is about like 10 miles from our house. And he was just like, hey, like I have a place where you guys can have a speedball field. So then we all talked and had a mutual agreement, built a field, and now here's Paintball Fit.
Interesting. And it's not just paintball that your family does. You guys also have a leather repair business, right?
Yeah. So my dad's like a 3rd generation boot repairman. So we do like boots, shoes, not satchels. What I can't even remember what it's called, but the horse, is it satchel?
Saddle.
Yeah. I'm an idiot. So the horse saddles, right?
Satchel's what Indiana Jones has.
Yes, 100%. So, but yeah, like you said, leather work, right? So a bunch of different like leather purses, Louis Vuitton, stuff like that. Like he just repairs rips and all that stuff. So now we're all doing it all the time. Keeps us really busy.
I mean, isn't the paintball field busy enough?
It is. It is. But paintball fields are busy, but we keep it maintained, right? So like we just do speedball. So we're just keeping the turf maintained, keeping the drainage good, keeping the bunkers good. And then during the week, my parents work there at the shoe repair. Now my brother Brody is actually working with them more full time just because they're really busy and need more help. And then my fiance Madison does all the other stuff like all the Hydra orders and everything out of the shoe repair, and also does the customer assistance and everything like that. She does all that, all the customer
So you guys
service.
also own Hydra.
Yes.
Man,
Yep.
you guys are busy. I mean, you got the family though. You got the staff.
Yeah.
So are you fourth generation leather repair, or are you not quite
I'm
there
still trying to learn it because the difference is like, so my dad learned from like 8 years old till now.
yet? Yeah.
When I was younger, he was kind of like, I don't want you to do shoe repair because I want you to find something that you truly love to do, which ended up being paintball. But like at the time, I didn't know it was going to be that. But he was just like, I want you to have something to where you're not just like, this is my fallback plan and do shoe repair anyways. Cause like, and I mean, I do want to do it just because it's the family business. Like I want to know it. But yeah, now it's pretty much primarily paintball and doing that.
So do you think that'll be your focus is paintball, or do you think you'll get into shoe repair down the line?
No, I plan on running a paintball field and playing paintball till I can't walk anymore.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, Colt, tell us about your favorite memory in paintball.
Oh man. If you asked me a couple of years ago, I would 100% say that it was winning a three-peat in D3 with my brothers. That was probably like just that event in general was just everyone was having fun. There was nothing going wrong. We dominated everyone. We three-peated, right? Like it was phenomenal. And I guess it's weird. I'm always saying this, but like that was another year that it felt like we were proving people wrong. Like we played in D4, we lost at Cup, half our team left us. So we built from scratch with us four brothers and then built up other teammates and had them come play with us. And then we went and won 4 out of 5 D3 events. But that three-peat was just a phenomenal feeling. Like we were looking around at each other going like, hey, like we could be the top dogs in paintball if we go real hard over the next 10 years and just take everything we want. Yeah. And stay together. Right. Because I mean, I truly think that most of the people on our team, if we disbanded for some reason and put like flyers out, I guarantee we'd all get picked up on teams. But like, why? Right? Like, I let's play together. And then now I'm like, man, I don't know, man. This last one was a good memory. It was a good one, but I feel like 5 years from now, I'm going to have a completely different one. I'll tell you what, my favorite paintball memory is going to be when we win our first pro event as a family. That'll be my favorite paintball memory. But for now, I guess it's that three-peat year.
Well, you just spoke it into existence, which is a very real thing, So that's gonna happen for you, Colt. I certainly believe that. The three-peat. Did you guys play different teams in the finals each time?
The first event we played like a Pirates team at Vegas. I just remember they had a pirate logo on their jersey, and I remember walking past them before going to the pro field for the finals and seeing a dude like ripping a bong. And I was just like, I'm going to fuck them up. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to fuck them up because they're not even taking this serious. So I'll never forget that guy. But number 2, that was Detox. We played something Detox. And then the third event, we played the Garden State Goats in D3. That was in 2019.
So it's also consistency. Like you won 3 events, but you're also like your competitors weren't making the finals at those events. That's telling too, man. So yeah, favorite memory is your first pro win with the family. Dude, you're so fortunate to play with your family, to play with your brothers. Like I can't even imagine what that's like because I don't have brothers, but
I'll tell you what, it's a lot of arguing. It's
Yeah, but it's got to be good. Like the
it's good
passion,
arguing.
you know?
It's good arguing, and I say this because an argument where there's no leaving, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's no like, oh well, I could say whatever I want right now and just not deal with this person anymore. Like you're trying to come to a solution. So like all our arguments are bigger than they should be, but it's because nobody bites their tongue. They just say what they want to say because they're like, fuck you, like I'm right, and things
Yeah.
get worked out. But you're definitely a lot more heated all the time.
Who's your favorite teammate? I'd imagine it's one of your brothers.
Man,
Doesn't have to be.
so if it's my brothers, if it's overall Adam, because I mean it's going to be one of my brothers, right? Like
Yeah.
that's out of those three between Brody, they all have their positives, right? So like Brody's like one of those teammates that I could be like, hey, go do this on this field, and he's going to do it to a T, right? So like that as a teammate
Soldier.
is phenomenal, yeah,
Yeah.
right. And then Johnny though, like Johnny is a player that like he does more for the team than a lot of people know, right? Like he hurt his
Mindset guy.
hamstring, but he was scouting, he was doing all this kind of shit all day and being a coach essentially, and since he couldn't play. When I feel like most people they don't do that, right? They're pouting because they're hurt or whatever,
Yeah.
and then he does all our stuff when he is playing. Like he's our rock, right? But then like Trenton, that dude's a fucking dog. Like if I'm in a 2-on-5 with someone on my team and it's Trenton, I think we can win. So like and not that I don't think I can win with Johnny and Brody, but like Trenton's fucking good, man. Like he doesn't have a lot of social media, so a lot of people don't talk about him. But like, I mean, you saw it, the fucking one-on-one. Like he clutched that up for us. He was the MVP of the entire match, not just because of the
Yeah.
one-on-one, but the whole match. Like, so I don't know. It's hard to pick that. But like, and then like Jonathan Chavez, that motherfucker is the most positive person. But then as soon as he gets on the field, he wants to put 70 in people's heads. Like he it's so hard to pick my favorite teammate. And then like Scott Stewart, again, just an animal on the field, super positive, super self-critical, never gives an excuse about anything. And if he is giving an excuse, it's probably a valid one. Rogers is another Brody who's like, you tell him to do something, he's going to do it to a T. And if you tell him that he fucked up, he's going to agree with you. And then our new two pickups, Caleb and Jacob, are just very consistent and clutch in certain situations. Like, I don't know. It's really hard to pick a favorite teammate because everyone's got their negatives, but everyone's got their massive positives. So like I
Yeah.
can't really choose.
Well, I mean, you guys have the recipe for success, and I'll tell you, like, the only entity, right, that's gonna beat a team like Dynasty is someone that mimics that path. They go up through the ranks together, they go pro together, and they have that connection, that bond, and that unity that allows them to play together like that on the field. It's been proven that no amount of money can win tournaments, right? That's proven.
Yep.
It's got to be, you got to. X Factor did it. They started, an amateur, and they worked their way up, and they stayed together through all the poaching and all that. They managed to stay together, and they won. So you guys have the recipe. It's just like, when the vultures come and like, we want that guy, we want that guy, we want that guy. You guys got to like, that's when you guys got to stay strong and stay together.
Yeah.
And you can be it. Like you can be the next powerhouse pro team if you follow that path,
I appreciate that. That's actually a big thing that we talk about, right? Like, in my opinion, the way to be remembered in the world is sports. That's just one of the biggest ways to be remembered is sports and war, right? So
Yeah.
you want to go down in the history books, you got to be the greatest. That's the goal, right? Maybe one day when paintball is making a ton of money, we're a young sport. We're a very young sport. NBA is like what, 75, 78 or 76 years old right now.
Yeah.
Now they're making millions, but like back in the 20s, which is technically where we are now, right? Like we're in the 2020s. They were not making money. Like, but like different guys now are in the history books, and it's kind of like I just had that realization the other year, and I was just like, I want to be the greatest to play paintball because I want to be remembered, right? And I think the best way to do that is be the greatest team, not just a phenomenal player, right? You want to be a part of the greatest team ever, right? Like, so like those dynasty guys are going to be remembered for years. Like that,
Yeah.
they're the reason paintball is where it is now, right? And like, I talk about it all the time. Like, I want to be the next dynasty, right? Like I want to be talked about like how they talk about like in basketball with like the Lakers and like the Showtime Lakers and like the 90s Bulls and the Celtics with Bird, right? Like those teams and different sports get talked about, right? Like even like
Yeah.
football, like the 85 Bears with like Mike Ditka. I didn't even watch back then, but I know about them because they were so dominant at their time. So like that's how my attitude is going into it. And it's just about the future and trying to get better.
Yeah, man. And I mean, Dynasty has had their challenges as well. It's not like, I mean, they've won the past 3 World Cups, yes, but prior to that, they didn't. You know, they were going through some challenges. And the thing is though, they stuck together, right? They persisted through the muck, right? They persisted through they embraced the suck is what we'll call it, right? And they stuck together and they kept going. And dude, these are like some of the oldest guys in the league, at least in the pro division, and they're stomping it out. So
just ruining people.
Yeah, just ruining people. But it's because like the core 4, right? The 4 horsemen, Yosh, Alex, Oliver, and Ryan, like that, they're still together. Like that, that says a lot, man. So you guys have that recipe is all I'm getting at.
I appreciate it.
So what about to watch, Colt? How about your favorite player to watch? Who's someone in any division, and it could be throughout, all time, even if you only see them in a video, right? Who's your favorite player to watch?
So like when you say that, do you mean like watch to get better?
I mean like watch, so you're like when you see him, you're like,
hey, watch this guy.
I know that he's gonna do something dope, so I'm gonna watch this game.
Man, that's hard. There's a lot. I feel like it's hard not to just go with the quick answer of like Ryan Greenspan, right? Like I feel like you go watch a dynasty match, like Ryan's gonna do fucking something that's gonna be game changing, right? Like if you could make a bet on it, there's more odds that he's gonna do a game changing play in a match than I think any other player. Yeah. Man, there's a lot. That's it's actually really hard to say too, because like for like a naked eye, watching different flashy plays is awesome, right? Like watching Keith and like the different snake players like go down the field and dominate. But like for me, I like watching the Ryans, the Marcelos, the J-Rabs, right? Like the players that are putting the game together for those players to succeed. Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So like for me, I like watching the IQ, the top IQ players instead of the flashy players. Does that make sense?
100%.
Like, so like for me, I look at a player and I'm like, okay, like that was cool. But like, if you were my size, could you do anything you just did? And if the answer is no, then I'm like, probably wasn't that smart of a play then. And then I watch the other players and I'm like, well, they could do it. And they're not even running. They're just walking and shooting this dude because they're communicating to their teammates and just different stuff like that.
Were they blocking something out somehow?
Yeah, right. Like A-Rod does it a ton. And I got to witness that because he plays with Diesel now. And I got to witness that at our practice. And it was like, okay, like that's really cool to watch J-Rab and A-Rod do the things they do where like A-Rod's being a magician in the center. And then like J-Rab is just talking to everyone, keeping everyone on the same page, and like even watching like Kyle Spica do it, which I feel like that's a player that everyone looks at Kyle and they're like, because I did too. Before I actually met him and watched him at practice, was like a player that kind of just attacks in the snake or up the center. But like the dude's smart. Like he's really smart when it comes to paintball. And I don't just mean attacking. I mean like he can be a 3. He's just shorter and faster, so people put him other places. But like he could be a 3. He could command the field and talk to people, put him on jobs. I watch him do it. But I'm like, he's also a player that I'm like, I don't think he gets enough credit. If that makes sense, I think people should watch Kyle a lot more. But yeah, no, it's hard to pick one player.
Yeah, it's hard to like you mentioned. You take a small, fast guy, you're gonna run him. You're gonna make him a 1, right? You're gonna run him up, and then it's hard to put that guy in a situation where he can shine intelligently, where you can see his IQ on the field because he's running with his head down, he's diving. and a lot of times he's trading out. He's doing his job, right? But I think that the most valuable players can do everything. They can also be a 3, right? They can command the field. They can direct things. They can quarterback it for their team. And yeah, Kyle's definitely one of those guys. It's but I think where he belongs is the 1, because not putting him there would waste his speed and size,
Yeah.
So Colt, what's your most cherished paintball item?
So my most cherished paintball item is actually a headband it was the first headband I ever bought, and it's like a real stupid Supreme headband that used to be like super red, right, with like black letters, and it was just a regular headband. It was by that like OG apparel guy, and I got it in like 2018. I actually lost it within the past like 2 months, just transitioning gear bags at the field, and now I can't find it. But now it's all tattered and like messed up, and I usually take it to every event. Now I need to find it. But no, that's probably my favorite one, just because I literally wore it for 3 years, and I think I won like 12 tournaments with it. Like, so that headband is my first tournament I ever won was with that headband, and like now I kind of keep it around with me. But no, I need to find it again. I think it's in my other gear bag.
You gotta find it, dude. Like, it's surprising, like how when I ask this question, how frequently I get headband, because I mean, every year, for the most part, if you're playing at the top level, you get a different gun. You're going to get a new goggle. You're going to get different jerseys and pants. Your pads are going to fall apart eventually, because that's the nature of them.
Yeah.
But like headbands, like, are things that we wear year after year after year. They get battle scars, right? They carry the blood, sweat, and tears of victory and defeat. So, yeah, man, you got to find it.
I need to find it. I need to find it.
You don't need it. You're not superstitious, but it's just special.
Oh, I'm superstitious.
Oh, yeah? What other
try not to be, but
got?
Man, all right. So it's weird, but like when I get ready, I have to put my left stuff on before my right.
Interesting.
It's not that it's OCD, but it's just like and I've been like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. And I'll play, and I'll just like on purpose, I'll put my right knee pad for my left, right? And then I'll have like a terrible match. I'll just take my stuff back off and re-put it on, and then I go have a great match. So I'm like, I don't know if it's coincidence, but now it's just like left knee pad, right knee pad, left leg in my pants, right leg in my pants, and then from there, I don't know. That's a weird one.
It's real, right? If it because here's the thing, if superstition is real, okay? Because if in your head it causes a change in your brain, then and that cause in your brain changes your actions on the field, or changes your confidence on the field, then it's manifested into reality, right? Yeah. Now, putting your right knee pad on first is a real thing, because it changes your brain.
Like, no, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's a real thing. You got any other ones?
I don't think so. I used to be real weird about like if a certain song came on, I would just have to like skip it, or like a certain artist, and it's a lot of weird stuff that I've tried to just veer away from, because I'm like, if something like that happens, I don't want it to affect
something that
like you said, my mind, right? So like even this last event, I usually listen to music every match, like before and after. This last one, I didn't listen to a single thing of music, and I just kind of put a towel over my head and just sat there and thought about my job and what I need to do to help us win. And I think that's probably all I'll do from now on.
So what kind of inner dialogue do you have? Let's say before a finals match. Let's rewind. Okay. Let's go back to the time, the minutes before your match with Blast Camp in the finals. You got the towel on your head. You have this inner dialogue going. What's being said there?
It's literally just all the hard work that I've done throughout these 7 years is literally for this moment. And it's just retelling myself that, to like, know that you've put in enough work to where no matter what happens, It's okay. We're just going to go back to work.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Right. So it's like,
Yeah.
if I lose, like, man, that really fucking sucks. But now I just need to go get better. If I
Yeah.
win, like what the one thing I saw from like Kobe Bryant was he was like, anxiety about losing doesn't make sense because if you win, you still have to wake up the next day and try to get better.
Yeah.
So really, you're just like just focus on your job and what you need to get better. And I saw this like a year or two ago, and it's kind of been like what I tell myself all the time if I'm feeling anxious is just like I want to win. I've worked hard enough to win. Now I just need to go out there and prove to myself that like I've put in enough work. And if I haven't, go do more after I lose. Right. Like,
Yeah.
but again, I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm going to lose, but I'm like, no, I've put in enough work. I know the job I need to do. I know what I have to do to execute. I'm just going to go out there and do it. And then the other thing is, I'm going to go fuck them up. Like, and I start getting myself hyped and like angry about different things. I start visualizing comments that I've seen on Instagram and visualizing just like that a certain player on different teams, like things they've said in the past, or maybe just if I've played them before, if they've overshot me once, right? Like that's getting me motivated. Like
Yeah.
it's
I love it.
I don't know, it's different. It's different every match.
Man, I think that's what it takes to compete at the highest level. I mean, what do you think? What advice would you give? If you could go back to 2016 and give little baby Colt some advice, what would you give him?
Man, get on a diet. No, so I don't know. I think I would just tell myself like everything's about building to the future, right? So just take every point, every match, take it one step at a time and just focus on your job and how you can help your teammates play better. And
Yeah.
I think if you go into every point like that, you will be the best teammate you possibly can be.
Hmm.
If you go into a match like I'm going to be the best teammate out there, I'm going to make sure that my guys can go down the field and fuck somebody up, and I'm not going to be scared to make a mistake. And that's kind of what I would tell myself because until recently, like I struggled being like I don't want to go out there and make a mistake because then I'm going to let my teammates down. Right now, it's like if I do make a mistake, they trust me to like fix it.
Yeah.
So like I wish I could go back and kind of tell myself to learn that quicker, and maybe I'd be farther along in my development. But
Sure.
I guess that'd be the only advice is just like don't be afraid to make a mistake, just fix it.
Yeah, and I think mistakes are the most powerful teachers, right? We don't always learn when we do well, especially if we like do exceptionally well. You know,
Yeah.
like if you beat someone, if you blow them out, there's not a lot of lessons there, right? But I mean, if you take it, if you get destroyed, there's tons of lessons in that. But it really depends on what's happening between your ears. Are you going to take them as like, oh, I'm going to be depressed and discouraged, or are you going to find the lessons in that?
Yeah.
And I think that's the championship mindset that you're talking about with Kobe Bryant is like, okay, do I need to do more work here? Well, yes. The answer is yes, whether I win and lose.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to focus on doing my job. And if I lose, then I'm going to figure out what the lessons are and get better.
100%.
I love it, man. So Colt, what are you most thankful for that paintball's given you?
Man, the friends. Like I I haven't met better people than the people I meet in paintball. Like I mean, I've met so many great people. It's kind of crazy. Like I mean, like even like after this interview, I'm gonna go play video games with buddies from paintball. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
be hanging. Like that's what I'm doing tonight. Is I'm just gonna play games with them and talk. Like we've been friends for years, and it's all because of paintball. Like I never would have known those people if it wasn't for paintball. I think that's the best thing about paintball is the friendships, man. It's a weird niche sport that not a lot of people get. So when you meet those people that get it and they truly get it, you click, right? And
Yeah.
everyone's usually a good dude. So it's yeah, the friendships are the my most prized possession that I've gotten for paintball.
I love it, man. I got to agree with you too. It's like, it's easy to make friends in paintball because everyone's kind of got similar quirks about them, similar mindsets. So yeah, I agree. Cool. Well, Colt, man, thank you so much for your time here. Is there anything that you want to part with for the paintball community?
No, just shout out to my sponsors with HydroFit, with Welts Factory, with XXV, Planet Eclipse, Freak, GI and Empire, JT Goggles, Transfuse to stay hydrated. Man, I'll tell you what, that Transfuse is like the main reason we were feeling good going into the finals. Like, it is a lifesaver. But no, just great sponsors. Also, if you need any solar needs, a Radiance Energy, I can get you hooked up with him, get you all set up. But no, man, just everyone be positive and try to get better.
Cool. Thanks, Colt.
Thank you.